Hello, Eagle Nation. I'm Katie Tolbert.
And I'm Shakeem Holloway.
And this is Sports Talk with George-Anne. Today, we'll be talking about how both baseball and softball tallied series losses against the Western Carolina Catamounts. Track and field hosted the SoCon Outdoor Championship. Men's tennis fell in the quarterfinals in the SoCon tournament. Women's tennis fell on day 2 of their SoCon tournament to Elon, and golf ended their season at the SoCon tournament. So, Shakeem, the baseball team went back on the road this weekend. Why did they struggle against the Catamounts?
Well, the Eagles knew going into this series that the Catamounts were a great team offensively and that the Eagles would have to be astounding on defense. And the Catamounts proved that they were a great team offensively. In the series, they scored 25 runs on 37 hits, and the Eagles had trouble defensively beginning in Game 1. And they had 5 errors leading to 7 runs in the second inning for the Catamounts, and they won that Game 1 9-3. In Game 2, both teams did well offensively, and the Catamounts prevailed 9-8. But the Eagles left 11 runners on base, and including the bases loaded in the 8th inning, and they couldn't capitalize getting the game-winning run. In Game 3, conversely, the Catamounts left 11 runners on base, but they out-hit GSU 12-9, and that's how they prevailed and got that win. So, Katie, tell us about the softball team also losing to the Catamounts over the weekend.
Well, with no surprise, they started out strong, winning 4-0, which made their 12th consecutive win against the Catamounts. But quickly afterwards, they lost both their games in the rest of the series. 2 things that I saw were really crucial for the Eagles was pitching. Sarah Purvis did an excellent job the first game, but the second game, Allie Miles really struggled out there in the circle. And then in the third game, the Catamounts had such a streak going that Sarah Purvis couldn't stop them. And also, another thing that I saw was the Eagles had a hard time coming back after certain innings. For example, in the second game, WCU got 5 runs in the second inning, and then in the third game, they got 4 runs in the 4th inning. And after those innings, the Eagles had a really hard time coming back after that.
Well, maybe since both teams have home field advantage this weekend, that'll help them change their luck.
We'll be right back after the break. The track and field, men's and women's tennis, and golf teams all competed in SoCon tournaments this weekend. The track and field team claimed the 3rd place spot thanks to the 4x400 meter relay. The team went into the final event in 5th place, but thanks to the relay team claiming 2nd in the event, the Eagles were able to move up to 3rd place overall. How did the men's and women's tennis team do, Shakeem?
Well, in the men's tennis team's opening round of the SoCon tournament, GSU swept the Citadel 4-0, and it looked like this trend was going to continue going into the quarterfinals against the College of Charleston because Junior Oliver Webb claimed the first win in the number 4 singles position, but that would be the only victory for the Eagles in the quarterfinals round. The women's tennis team was seeded 7th in the tournament and faced the 10th-seeded Wofford College. The girls were able to come away with a 4-2 victory to advance to day 2 of the tournament. Day 2 was a different story for the Eagles as they were swept by the number 2 Elon University 4-0. I heard the golf team was off to a rough start after the first day of its tournament. Tell me how it turned out for them, Katie.
Ended the first day of the SoCon tied for the 7th place spot with the College of Charleston, having a score of 27 over par. There was winds at over 30 miles per hour that really threw the team off in the first day. Things on the second day picked up a little bit for the Eagles, but ultimately, on the 3rd day, the golf team ended up tying with UNCG for 5th place. Although the team didn't place first, sophomore Scott Wolfs really excelled this past weekend. He was named the league's Golfer of the Year and first team All-Conference. He's the first golfer at GSU to win Golfer of the Year since 2009. Also, junior Will Evans tied for 12th, leading the Eagles in this championship. GSU had some difficulties on this course, especially with the tucked-away pin placements. Head coach Larry Mays said that it obviously wasn't the finish they wanted, but they are looking forward to an announcement of a possible NCAA regional bid on May 6th.
And we'll be back shortly to talk about what we have planned for fall of 2013. That wraps up all the sports talk we have for you this week and this semester's running of Sports Talk with the George-Anne. In the fall, we'll be making big changes, including a longer time slot and more in-depth sports coverage.
If you want to keep up with GSU sports, the George-Anne print edition will still be running for one more week, and there will be daily content online at thegeorgeanne.com.
Thanks for tuning in, and see you in the fall.